Hello there.
Welcome back, my friend.
Hello, what have we here?
Jedi, we've been expecting you.
Knew I could count on you.
Hello.
Welcome to the rebellion.
What fun!
Hey gang, Hybrid here, and I hope you are ready for a little bit of a ramble. I have never done this on the channel before, but I think it would be very fun to do a movie review. We have not had a new Star Wars movie out as long as I have been doing Star Wars reviews, so this is a new opportunity with The Mandalorian and Grogu out. I just saw it tonight. I made the trek into Pennsylvania. I hung out with Jackson of the 1313 podcast. I saw Blitz Transmissions. We got together with a bunch of family and friends, and we watched the movie, had a fun parking lot conversation, and I had my hour drive home. And now that I'm home, I have had that time to think about what I saw. You're getting a pretty fresh reaction, and I gotta say, it's not good. It's great! I had so much fun with this movie. I think fun is the best descriptor for this movie. I think that fun adequately describes it, and it's just fun, you know. And fun is what you should have with a Star Wars movie. So this review, had I not mentioned it, is going to be spoiler-free. There is going to be a spoiler review coming later, so I get to double up on this, which is great. But I just wanted to talk about some general vibes, right? So, you know how these things go. A new Star Wars project is coming. You start seeing those those like lists, you know, those rankings on Instagram and Facebook. You know, it's not going to do well. And everyone's not excited for it, you know? Because every Star Wars fan loves to be a bummer about the new stuff, except for us real Star Wars fans. Now, here's the thing with The Mandalorian and Grogu, right? With a title like The Mandalorian and Grogu, one can assume that it's going to be a continuation of The Mandalorian. And if you are one of those Star Wars fans that doesn't like The Mandalorian because the last Star Wars thing you enjoyed was Return of the Jedi in theaters in 1983, you're probably not going to like this movie. But I think a lot of us are fans of The Mandalorian, and this very much feels like the TV show. There is a lot of that spirit to it. It's just really, really fun. It's really light. It was just a good time. There was some good jokes, some good funny bits that when people go to say, oh, it took me out of it. My entire theater crowd was laughing when some of these were going on. But it also wasn't constant. It also wasn't overwhelming. But it was just very, very refreshing. You know, I went to the theater and man, I just had a fun time on this. You know, going into it, I had some thoughts, right? With a Mandalorian and Grogu movie, what do? Do you film a couple episodes of the series and then clip them together like Clone Wars movie format? Or do you just make a great big movie and just title it The Mandalorian? And it really felt like a really extended episode of the show. And it just had that energy. You know, some of the things that like your intro credits, your end credits, you know, they were very similar to what you would see on the series. I guess not the end credits, the concept art end credits, but like the credits they roll after the concept art end credits with the TV series. I was wondering if we were going to get concept art on this. It would have been cool, but it was a little bit more traditional Star Wars. But gosh, I just had so much fun. You know, the Ludwig themes were there. They were strong. They were excellent. You had some upgraded motifs of soundtracks from the original series. It was just great. Sigourney Weaver was excellent in it. You know, it was one of those things where, you know, they got a really good, really great actress there. And do you give her a ton of screen time? You know, then people are like, well, she was distracting. Why we can get Sigourney Weaver and no one freaks out about her, you know, but we freak out because of Jack Black. I guess it's only a bad cameo sometimes, but not all cameos are bad. I still don't truly understand that logic. I think that one was just haters. But she was excellent. She wasn't overused. She was great when she was there. And other than her, there really wasn't a lot of overuse of other characters. Everyone that showed up had a place in the story. You know, it wasn't bloated. It wasn't, you know, we weren't just running through the cast of the original series. There wasn't a whole lot of people that came back. You know, there were some, but it was just really, really fun. I know I keep coming back to it. It was really, really fun. But man, I just took the hour drive back home blasting Mandalorian music in the car. I was just soundtracking out and just having a great time. Some of my favorite things, you know, are here on the table, of course. I mix up my display when I do the full-blown review. I thought the mercenary guard droids were really cool. That is one of several different ones that you see. And while they were a little bit of just a fodder enemy, you know, Mando was blowing up a bunch of them, as he does. It was just a really, really cool design, and I'm so glad to have that in Funko form. I would like to get that in Black Series form, please. Grogu was excellent in this movie. You know, as the series has gone on, he has learned things and picked up skills, and you begin to see some payoff there, which is great. Mando was awesome. Pedro and Brendan Wayne, did some awesome work as Mando in this movie. There, were some good references. If you are a Clone Wars kid, there was a lot of really, really fun stuff, whether it be characters or items. You see some like relics, appear here and there, nothing like super screen grabby, but you're just like, oh, hey, that's the type of gun that guy used, or stuff like that. So it's kind of fun. You have a lot of fun with that. Really, really great stuff. A lot of the stuff we see in the trailers is from very early in the movie. And that was kind of my expectation. I was kind of like, wow, like we're getting a lot of trailers on this snow base. I bet that's not the entire movie, and it's not. So if you're the type of person that's like, oh man, the trailers spoil everything, did not spoil everything. And yeah, I just had an absolute blast. Going into it, I knew I would, so I bought the $80 popcorn vessel before even getting to my seat. I was just like, I need that, and I will be reviewing that sometime next week. Keep an eye out for that. And that's kind of just where I'm at, guys. I had a lot of fun. I'm going to keep saying I had a lot of fun if I don't cut it here. The reaction is fresh. It is late at night. I'm tired. I need to put this together to get it up for Friday, as promised on Instagram. So thank you guys for just listening to a guy ramble. I know this wasn't the most in-depth thing. It's fresh, it's late, and I can't really talk a whole ton because this isn't the spoiler review. I'm going to spend the weekend working on that. As mentioned, I have never done a review of a movie on the channel at all, so I'm going to spend my weekend kind of deciding how I'm going to approach that. But generally speaking, this was super duper fun. A lot of Star Wars fun. The vibe, the true vibe, leaving it, right? It was never going to be like series changing, saga changing. We weren't going to get anything too insane. But this was going to be a fun adventure. And to me, it felt akin to Solo, a Star Wars story in that way, where like, you're not going to tell anything insanely revolutionary with that movie, but you can still have a fun time with it. And that's what this was. This was Mando and Grogu on an adventure for the New Republic. And as things do on the best of their adventures, they got a little out of hand, and they handled it. That is the simplest summary one can do. So anyways, guys, I hope you all have a lot of fun going and seeing it this weekend. I threw a little poll up on Instagram, and it seemed like a lot of people were open to seeing it this weekend. I was like, are you going to see it tonight, as in Thursday night, Friday or Saturday or Sunday, or are you going to go some weekend past this? The majority of the people seemed to be saying that they were they were going for it, sooner than later. So that's really cool to see. I hope we hit some good box office numbers this weekend, and maybe we get some more Star Wars in theaters. As much as I enjoy watching Star Wars series, there's always a bit of fun and a bit of magic in going to the theater. It's so easy when you're sitting at home on the couch to catch yourself getting a little distracted by the phone or something. But in the theater, you got to follow that etiquette. You gotta be glued in and locked on, and none of the the millennial doom scroll while listening to the movie going on there. All eyes were on it, and it's the type of thing that you just need to have all eyes on. I loved it a lot. 10 out of 10 for me. That's my immediate fresh reaction. We will see how that progresses through the weekend, but I'm pretty confident on that. It was a really, really good movie, and it's exactly what I thought it would be, which is good. So, thanks for listening to me ramble. I will catch you next time. Keep an eye out for the spoiler review. Of course, do not watch that until you have seen the movie, but I'm looking to put it out early next week. So, that said, thanks again for listening. May the Force be with you, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.